We're just jumping right on in. I'm going to go in and I'll still double check and make sure we're live. And tweet out. Oh, fuck. Let's fix our title. Been busy this morning. Now it's updated. See if it updated correctly. Always takes a minute to load. Let's make sure we don't have too much crap open. There we go. It's working. So what we'll do today, I'll show how we import a new map. And we'll take a look at which one we need to pull in. And then I need to prep that map. So, you know what? I will probably, I'm going to open another instance. Where do I want to do this? I want to open another instance of Dungeondraft. Not Dungeondraft, of Foundry in our browser. And let's see. No, no, no. It keeps trying to bring in. I changed my port. Since we tossed a player, and that'll, you know, since we can't ban, we really. So, Foundry people, give me a way to ban somebody. So we're going to use this to pull in monsters instead of the other way that we've been doing it. Right. This could be problematic if it's going to do this. I'm going to do something real quick. This is the map we're going to work on today. Oh, let's see. We're going to see if this lets me log in. Wow, that's weird. It's really misbehaving today. So I wonder why the localhost command isn't working. I'm going to have to go in. Let me take a look at something. All right, so let me change. Let me do a quick change. This thing is it's acting weird. There have been a couple of weird things that have happened with Foundry in the last 2 weeks since there was an update. Well, it's loading. I get the feeling it doesn't like the port that I'm using. Let's do this. So we're restarting our Foundry virtual tabletop real quick. So bear with me. Yes, I know you're unable to connect. And we do this. I need to reset my router so it passes to another port. So let me do that. I love the, tell you what, I've really gotten to where I love the Nest Wi-Fi. It's so easy to manage my ports. Don't have to log in through web browser or anything. Just pull the phone up, pop it in, pick my freaking PC I want to do it to, and bam, done. And the speed throughout the house is improved for everybody that's using Wi-Fi. All right, so let's try that. Let's launch. Now we should be able to, it's got to load first. Come on. In fact, while we're waiting for that, let me edit. And that worked. So I'm going to keep a second instance of boundary up. And that means I'll be able to do some GM changes over here. So this is the level my characters are finishing. Wait for that to load in. Hopefully this evening. We're hopeful that it'll finish tonight. If all goes well. So we were in the Twisted Caverns map. I think the only combat they have left is here. So they'll need to work their way there. There are like 22 monsters they'll fight. And that's why we're going to populate our new map today. So let's go ahead and bring that in first. And if we look here, the level we were on was Twisted Caverns. We finished Willowwood in stream a couple of weeks back. And we're going to go ahead and create that map now. So what you do, we need to create a scene. If you look here, we have Willowwood in here. Why is it not up there, though? Where is it? There it is. I thought I was going to have to import it. What we would normally do, when we finish the Lost level, we'll probably bring it in here. In fact, you know what? Let's stop pulling on resources. This is getting a little bit pissed off at me, I think. All right, so here's Willowwood. First thing we'll need to do is pull up our reference map. And the reference map we actually made when we started prepping for the map itself. So there's our reference map. And let's look at what one is. One is the river. And we'll start putting some notations on here. So I'm going to flip this onto the screen above. So if you wonder why I'm looking up above, it's to see what my next area is on the map. And we're basically going to do this. So we'll go into Willowwood here. And honestly, I kind of prefer using this because it has everything fully there, but it doesn't necessarily let us do what we need to do. So large blind fish swim up and down this dark sluggish river that flows from level 4, meanders down to the Underdark, plunging over waterfalls every mile or so. So we can just put a notation in here, right? So one, we can put this all along the river. So if they're like, what do we see in the river? We go, well, remember what I read before? That's what you see in the river. And it'll show up on the map just like that. And then as the DM, you just go like this, and they don't see this stuff. There's my description. And we're going to go ahead and place that wherever there's an intersection that they'll cross, both as a reminder for us and for the players when they say, well, what do we see down there? Hey, you remember what we read before? That's what you see. We're going to fix this order. Come on, are you going to let me do it? Seriously. Sort ascending. Now, is that going to... See, it's going alphabetically instead of numerically. And before, it always let me move this stuff around. It's just not letting me do it now. Wonder what that is. But doesn't matter. Let's not fixate on that. Like I said, it's a little redundant, but I do like to have this on the map where we can see it. And this is a really simple level. If they don't do anything especially stupid, there's a lot of fighting that they can avoid. And trust me, that's a good thing. I know the murder hobos of the world are just having a hissy fit, hearing that fighting is a bad thing in this game at times. But sometimes you do need an ally. I mean, let's be honest. All right, so I'm going to move this over here. Let's look for room 2. And actually, it's not even a room. So this is area 2. We have 2D, 2B. We're going to... if we can bring them in that way. No, we can't. That would be too damned convenient. Let's take a look and see if we can drag anything in from this that way. And I would much prefer if we could just drag this in. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put notations above, just for sanity's sake here. So here we go. In fact, we can do it this way. We're going to put it in the middle of the room. So this is 2D. And then all we're going to do is this. We'll make it invisible. So we'll see it, but they won't. And we can do that. We could even do that all through here on the river where we did that. But I kind of like the convenience of just having that stuff dropped. 2B. This is 2C. In here, like 2C is like this whole section. So we're going to put a dead bang in the middle. Oh, crap. I don't want to delete all drawing objects. I want to select that one. There it is. C. This is 2A, and then we need these things delineated. And honestly, it's not a bad idea if you go in and put all this down in every room anyway, even though you're going to drop the notations for the individual rooms. Really doesn't hurt to do this for every room. So let's go through and we'll prep every area numerically. This little place right here. This is 4D. I'm tempted to bring that down to be able to draw an arrow. No, you know what? Let's just put it right here. I think we'll be fine. I saw the rain one. Oh, that's not a little bit of rain. That's fucked up. That's like my alleyway. When we have heavy rain, our alley in the back kind of goes like this, right? And it becomes a river rushing down there when we have heavy downpours. It's funny because if people have their trash cans down at the end of their drive, they'll all wash down. There'll be this freaking barricade of trash cans at the end of the street. But it looks like that's like all of your streets that are fucked up there. So that's 4D. 4C. Let's put our 4E here.
Who let the dogs out?
There you go. There's the Lokester. Shouldn't say his name, he'll get up. Tessa's not in here. Anon Omega. Sorry for the cough. Thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. So 4E. This is 4C. For B. So there's all these little parts, you know, in my opinion, stuff so that to make my life easy that I do. Other DMs, I mean, if you don't want to go through and do this, then it's not a big freaking deal. You know, do your prep. That dog is dead. He is tired. Nobody slept well last night because Mama was away. Icy was pacing around like she was insane all night because she's not used to her mom. The wife stayed at a friend's house. She was in for back surgery and she has a dog that she's basically adopted. Got from somebody that was not taking care of it. And it's got skin cancer, all these kinds of things. And it's got all these anxiety issues. So she stayed with it while she was in for surgery. They did. And so I even went to bed like after 1:30 in the morning because I don't sleep well when the wife's not here. That whole month that I was up in Maryland in 2019, I didn't sleep. And I was doing what I had to do, but I didn't sleep. And the terrible thing is that Jelly never forgave me for that. And I still feel really bad about that, about me being away. My wife knows that, you know, it's crazy. What's gross? Okay, so we need to go to 5 next. What's over here? See, this is kind of a fucked up area because 2 kind of goes to A, B, C. Where's E? Or D? Oh, D's up top. And then look, this is still part of 2 over here. It's a totally different room. Jelly abandonment. Oh my God. I mean, you guys know how broken up I was when she passed. And it still crushes me that she was so upset right up until the day she died that I had gone away. She never forgave me. That I can't sleep when my wife's around. I can't. Firehawk Zero, thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. Yeah, the jelly abandonment, I will be feel guilty about that forever. Yeah, and the doggo cam, the little picture in the corner, that's our jelly if you're not familiar. Everybody loved the jelly, except the boys. They were always abused. It's kind of funny. Still say that Jelly was the star of the show, not Dad. All right, so 2A. 2A's down here too. 2A's up top. 2A is everywhere. Twitch was promoting me. That is a first. That's crazy. Twitch never promotes Dad. So I assume, are you going to Germany too, or you're just saying, fuck it, I'm staying here? I mean, both are reasonable responses to it. You know what I mean? One of these days, Firehawk, I'll probably get another actual game stream going. I tried to do it a little while ago and kind of fell apart because nobody could game on my schedule. And you kind of got to game on the DM schedule. Oh my gosh. You are Ilarenko. Sorry for butchering the name. Thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. I mean, I've been to Germany and places like that a long time ago. I mean, I've thought about retiring to another country. You know what I mean? Subscribed for the awesome voice. That radio voice, right? Oh my God, it was funny and almost gross, right? When I was a kid, I mean, I've always had this deep voice. And I'd call my one friend, to see what we were doing on the weekend. Your older brother. Now, are they there because like they're stationed there, or because you have family that's just from there? All right, I'm breaking away from my orderly fashion here, and this map is not helping me stay in numerical order because things are all over the place. I'm looking for 7. Where the hell is 7? Oh my God. This map is crazy. They're German. Never came back. This map I made, I finished this probably about 3 weeks ago, and my campaign that I run tonight has one more combat on the level above this in Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So I'm prepping this so that I have all the notations where I want, and then I'm going to populate it inside of this is the virtual tabletop that I use. All right, so let's... I forgot this. That's right. Here are all the sixes, but then we got to find the sevens. So this is 6A. We can zoom in on the map too. We make our maps in Dungeondraft. And I mean, I used to use, I think it was called Dungeon Painter Studio. And then this came out about the same time that I was looking to Foundry for my tabletop. Dungeondraft did. I'm assuming they're not. They're all working. And by how badly they die on a regular basis, I don't think they're watching. They have no idea what's in these levels. I mean, I have the player that I kicked and banned last week just for being a douchebag, and he's died 7 times in this. Well, here's the beauty of Foundry. Um, a lot of the systems that you play, it's not. I mean, I've used Fantasy Grounds for a long time. My biggest gripe with Fantasy Grounds has been, I buy my books on D&D Beyond. I buy them in hardcover, and then with Fantasy Grounds, I had to buy them again. So you're buying books 3 times. Now, yeah, you can argue, well, you're getting them at 50% on the digital versions, but I'm still buying them 3 times. So I'm paying more money than I need to. And with Foundry, I can import my stuff in from D&D Beyond um, relatively simply. So I only need the books on D&D Beyond to be able to pull it in here. Now, I will preface that after the fact with to be able to really do it. So it works really well. I pay a Patreon to a programmer that does a thing that allows me to pull all this stuff in here. I would have to pull in manually and make it right. And for $5 a month, I can bring every book in ever and have it all taken care of. So all my main books are already brought into the system, um, and it's gotten to where with because wizards being wizards, they make changes all the time. They don't think about what it does to affect how their system's being used. So, the guy basically, this has become a full-time job for him. I don't care. Paying people for their work, it should happen. And it allows me to bring in the adventure. Now, my only issue is, um, and I think I've eliminated the scenes. See, this works in scenes where um, this would be my maps. I would have to activate this to make it work, and it would be the black and white map from the book. So that's why I go in the Foundry or Dungeondraft and make my maps there so that they are representative of what it's supposed to be, because I really hate black and white maps. In Dungeondraft, when we get to that eventually this afternoon, after I populate this, it's the best 20 bucks I've spent now. I mean, I used to say that Dungeon Painter Studio was the best 15 bucks that I've spent because I was using that to map out for Dungeon Crawl Classics, some of my maps for D&D, for online. Um, and this actually, Dungeondraft actually works better. So for 20 bucks, it's a steal. And I get nothing out of saying that. So It can be. Now, as a DM, I've kind of made the decision with the last couple of books. I'm not buying the paperbacks anymore. Um, I do everything online. I can find and see what I need to see just as quickly, probably quicker by pulling it up online than actually opening up a hardcover book and searching for it. So, if down the road I need to buy the books, I will. But since I do everything in one place, I mean, I may never go back to playing live and in person again. I don't know. I kid, but I what's better than being able to sit at home and play D&D without having to put pants on to go out? And I tell you, Foundry has the capability built in to do. Is that an eye? Yeah, it's an eye. Oops, didn't mean to do that. But you can fix it easily. There we go. And these are just my notations. You do that, they can't see it. So the only person that can see what I'm putting in here, the letter and numerical notations for the individual rooms, I'm the only one that can see it once you make it hidden. Yeah, it is. I mean, there's no sense in buying books anymore. I mean, why not just save the freaking tree? All right, so I tell you what. If I go out of order, I know I'm going to. I know I'm going to miss something, but we're going to go out of order. 12A. This one I can put on the edge. And in fact, I'll show you. Let's take a look. I'm going to show you how well this works. So let's go like this. Here's another level that I'm going to be working on today. This is inside of Dungeondraft, right? So when we draw our walls, all of these walls carry over from Dungeondraft into Foundry. I'm not going to pull up the old map that we did for Willowwood, but this is the one below that I need to finish as well, because if the players play Willowwood correctly, they'll get through it without much combat. They'll move through peacefully. They won't pester the druid that'll kill them, and they'll move on to this. So I'm hoping Willowwood is maybe a 1 or 2 week event. I doubt it with my group, but we'll see. And right now we have the trace image on. What the map actually looks like is that. But I always have the trace image for reference, so I can see what goes in each area and populate it. But let's bring back Dungeondraft, or Foundry. So I'm going to drop a character in here. I don't do female voices. My party knows I don't do voices. So here, let's pull the dwarf wizard in who's never here. So there he is, and you'll be able. I'll show you. I need to, and this is where you go in. You want to make sure that your tokens have vision, right? The fog exploration is set up. This is all underground, so technically, and this is another nice aspect of this. This should be set up so that it's transitioned to darkness. So everything will go dark. We're going to select a dwarf. There is his field of view. It already comes in. It knows he's a dwarf. Now, if he were a human, we'd look at his character sheet, or actually his token. And you would take that dim vision off. because in darkness you don't have dim vision as a human. You would set up 20 bright, 40 dim, and they would be carrying their torch around. And that would move with them. And I generally assume they have some kind of light source. Fortunately, I think one character's got a drift globe. The other person people were casting light on, he's not here anymore, so we don't need to worry about it. And nobody else is paying the light tax. And every individual player will see what their character would see. So if they've only got 30 foot of dark vision, which, really isn't a thing, but let's say they did, and they were standing next to this character, they would not see what he sees. Now, I mean, honestly, I know it looks a little bit dim, but you have to remember, this is dim vision. If we drop a torch on him, so he has 60 feet of vision. Let's go ahead and drop a torch on him for the hell of it. And his vision will extend out to the full 60 feet, but let's drop a torch. So he would have 20 and then 40 plus his normal dim vision. So it'll actually be 2060. Did I not hit save? Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, I didn't update it. I mean, I've not had a lot of trouble finding groups. I've, when I'm doing stuff like this, I'll actually have people come in and ask if. So I'm wondering why that's not choosing not to work. Can you run or, whatever. And like the last one, I said yes. But I always set parameters. I would establish that during one of my normal streaming days at 10, let's say 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. would be when I would stream the game and play it. So that would be on my time. Now this group, they're all like, well, I work at night. And I'm like, well, you need to find another DM. Well, we'll work it out. And then, everybody except one guy's like, well, I still need to play at night. We want to play Friday it came out to be like 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. my time. I'm not staying up to 3 a.m. playing D&D. And my 9 p.m. time, I'm generally watching TV with the wife or whatever we're binging because, that's what you do. Oh, this is why. And so what is going on here? Let me take a look at something. We set this to darkness. There could have been an update on this that's screwing with us. Let's establish a light source. All right, so it's not that. For some reason, he's not radiating light. And I've never had an issue with this, so it's probably something that they need to fix. But let's see, the light color's wrong. We need that at white light because that's preferable. Maybe, maybe not. See, here's the nice thing with like with Fantasy Grounds that I used for a long time. Everybody had to download a copy of it. Well, that's fine. When I'm doing my D&D streams, I generally expect to answer these kinds of questions. And it's, it's fine. I'm curious why this thing's defaulting to like black light. That doesn't make any sense. So with Fantasy Grounds, everybody said download it. Now, they can download a free version and log in on Fantasy Grounds, but to be able to do that, there are two ways that you can run something like Fantasy Grounds where you have to buy the software. One where the DM buys it and everybody else buys it. And I think the cost for that is like $30 a person. So everybody would have to spend $30 to be able to download the software. Then the DM would download and pay for the books that he's going to run. And then everybody logs in and they're able to share the books off of his program. Now, the other thing you can do, which is what I did, is buy, I forget what the version's called, but it's basically like the Ultimate Edition. And you pay $150, and everybody that downloads the software for free can log into you as the DM, and they don't have to buy anything. And you're still sharing the books out that you own. With this, and you have to buy all the books through Fantasy Grounds, which is where I find it problematic, why I don't use it anymore. Because if you use D&D Beyond and own books on there, you want to be able to use that in the software, not double buy your online books. But, that's part of their monetization model, that they generate money by selling books. And, that's their choice. Now, with this program, you pay $50 one-time fee, and if you own the books on D&D Beyond, you can use a module, pull the books in, and you don't have to buy everything again. And you have several options to be able to pull that stuff in. One that I do, I don't know if you were in when I was talking about it before, but one where I pay $5 a month to somebody that writes a module that does it very efficiently, pulls everything in, including being able to pull characters in. And then there's another guy that just puts something out that's actually really good, except it doesn't pull the modules in. It'll bring in characters, spells, monsters. But if you're not running homebrew content, then you need to be able to pull the modules in. So I'd still say go with VTTA. It's worth $5 a month for the guy, since all he has time to do is sit there and write software to make this thing work. And I don't have a problem with paying for people to work. But trying to figure out why this decided it's not going to work. Let me see. Do I have anybody with... Let's do this. Fuck it. We're going to create an actor. New actor. We're going to call him Bob. And we'll keep the prototype token. Let's do vision. It doesn't have dim vision. It does have... This might be what's causing the issue. We're going to take a look. He emits 40 and 20. Update token. All right. And where did Bob go? That's the question. We made Bob. There's Bob. So Bob should emit light. And he does. So, see, it worked on that character where he's emitting 20 feet and the other. I think the fact that he has dim vision is overriding the light being emitted. Someone around him, see, Bob has light. He can see that light. So it does work. And you can see, honestly, what'll happen is he goes outside of this guy's radius. It'll actually increase your radius because you can see into his light dome. So let's kill Bob. And let's turn the lights back on. And the other thing you have to remember with dark vision on characters, and the reason it goes dark and then everything looks really dim instead of, like, right now it's really bright, this is all in a cave underground with no lights. And dark vision doesn't mean you see like daylight, with the exception of creatures that, oh, what the hell is it called? Devil's Sight. That gives you the ability to see in total darkness like it's daylight. So you would have to set that character's token up so it doesn't have the dim vision and it has bright light out to, I think it's 120 feet. So they'd be able to see everything just like this. Um, but no character, if they just have dark vision, should be able to see everything nice and bright like this. You need to have it set up so that they're seeing in dim vision, because dark vision, you actually have disadvantage on perception checks that require sight in total darkness. A lot of DMs don't play that way, but I mean, those are the rules. I think they just don't know the rules. I don't know. But back to this, you buy a copy of it. Are you still here, Non Omega, while I'm answering this? Um, you buy a copy of it for $50, one time fee, no monthly. And basically, you're going to have two choices. You could set up an online server somewhere and have them log into that, or you can let them log directly into you on your computer. You know, you'll set up a bypass on your router so it goes through a specific port. They'll come in, they log into your computer, and they actually it's just like using Roll20 where they're in a web browser. So you're the only person as the DM that has to have a copy of the software. No one else does. So they don't have an outlay. Now, let's say you have a group that likes to play together. If they want to help with purchasing the books and all, go for it. And I know a lot of groups will do that where, excuse me, they'll pool money, buy the books as like a group, and, you know, then they take turns being DM. I mean, technically, that's a breach of licensing, but, you know, I don't really have a problem with it. I just, you know, I just buy my own books and don't worry about it. That way I don't need to worry about it. I always have what I need. But I mean, I've been doing this since 77, 78. 12D. Oh, no. No, this is not a 12. 5E's been like the thing for a little while. Um, you can play Pathfinder on this too. I mean, there are. Here, let me see if I can make this thing. I'm going to make this one go away. Let's do another one. This is room 13. Come on. There we go. Yeah, 13. You can play. Let me save this. Well, I don't have to save. Let's do this. I'll show you your options. So game systems. Let's take a look at what's available. I mean, right now I have 5th edition, Dungeon Crawl Classics, Pathfinder 1 and 2, Savage Worlds, and Starfinder on here that I could run and play. At the moment, there are 101 different systems available that you can play. At one point, it was like 50. Since I got this, oh my God, it has grown immensely with the number of systems that they have. The Cipher system, which gives you the ability for what? Numenera, the Strange, Predation, Unmasked Gods. I've got all that stuff on my shelves out there. What else? Yeah, Numenera as a separate system. We played Shadow of the Demon Lord. Man, that is one warped freaking system. I mean, when you can cast a spell that makes somebody's junk fall off, that's a messed up system. I mean, that's the only purpose of that spell. Your junk falls off. I guess your will to live goes away at that point. But it's almost at the point where you can name a system and they have it. And most of them you're not buying anything to make it run. So these are, community set up systems, and they're staying within the rules of copyright, and you're able to play using this. So, I mean, Call of Cthulhu. Let's see. Do they have GURPS in here? That's another system I've ran forever. No, because Steve Jackson games are kind of dicks. So, but we may never see GURPS. I would play GURPS. But there are a lot of systems on here. What about, let's see, Vampire the Masquerade. I think like Fantasy Grounds does have a community module with a lot of the GURPS rules in it. We played a lot of GURPS over the years. But like I said, there are a lot of games available. I'm going to take a look. Let's you know what? They have a Discord too for the Foundry. So I mean, if you're curious about Foundry, I would even join the Discord. And if you have any questions about systems, they would probably answer it. I haven't looked to see if, let's see. Anon! Thank you for the tip. Greatly appreciated. You are awesome. But did I go into the right one? No, I didn't. See, right now my default is whatever my group is in. So let's see what they're saying about GURPS. This says that the GURPS system, maybe GURPS is in here. Let's take a look. No, I don't think it's available. Wonderful system gives bad rap for the reasons. I'm going to do a little search. It's possible there could be a module to download. It's not showing up there. Let's see. Setting up Foundry DTT VTT for GURPS. Oh, they're working on a game system file. So GURPS is in the works. That's awesome. Man, there's a guy in here who's telling you how to set up the JSONs and everything to make, because you can do called shots, arm, chest, this kind of stuff. I mean, that's what you need. We played a GURPS game my son ran. And he let me use martial arts, the that book, and I ran as an archer, and I really feel like the archer perk, the way it is in that system, is extremely broken because I killed the shit out of everything. I mean, it takes away a lot of the minuses that you would normally have for movement, called shots, and all that. And oh my god, that game became so broken, it was ridiculous. And then in the end, we made the wrong decisions and the world blew up, which in and of itself was hilarious. But, you know, it is what it is. This whole area is 7. I was expecting these to all be little zones, but they're not. I forgot. I appreciate that, Anon. I generally kid because I know that between Foundry and Dungeondraft, yeah. I mean, that's what I like about GURPS. It is so lethal. I mean, you have to think before you do stupid shit. Everybody can die. The players can die. The NPCs you run into, you can kill them. Everything can die in that game. I mean, there's no such thing as a character that can't perish horribly. So, I mean, you can't play like an idiot. I mean, you can, but you're going to pay for it. And I like systems that are lethal. That's why I like Dungeon Crawl Classics. It's a lethal system. But like I was saying, between Foundry, Dungeondraft, I don't know how many times people have come in and they're like, "Oh, I'm getting this after seeing that." I should get a freaking commission because I'm like a Dungeondraft evangelist. What's your religion? Dungeondraft. There's 9 and 10. Ease of map generation. That's what's most important to me. And I'm really pretty happy with how the maps turn out after you get done with this stuff. And I go back and forth on styles. I mean, I'll use some of the base assets off of Dungeondraft, and then other times I'll go in and use some that are, not quite as cartoony or whatever. It just depends on my mood. I'm going to put it beside the boat. That will kill them. Oh, my brain just shut down. It's not a boat. It's a... Now I've got to look it up because my memory just failed to work. You watch long enough, you'll know I have a lot of old man moments like that. Too many bad life choices and too many concussions, man. It's a mimic. The boat's a mimic. You step in the boat, you get eaten by the boat. I love the mimic boat. It's awesome. And I don't know why I didn't remember mimic. It's the dumbest thing. All right, this is 11B. And like I said, the minute I make that so it kind of goes from being bright to not, more a little more transparency there. It players can't see it. That's just my notations for what I'm going to be dropping on the map. All right, so that's 10, 11. We need 12s down here, right? Or have we dropped those already? So we've done the 12s, 13. Where's 14 on the map? This is all over the place. All right, 14's here. 15. And this is inside walls, so it's a good place to put it. We don't even need to make it so they can't see it. But we're still going to do it. But I mean, like I was saying with how Dungeondraft and this work together, so I digressed. You know, what's really nice is the walls from Dungeondraft get brought directly into here. So, you know, all of these things work. The doors come in, they work automatically. Now, I tend to lock all the doors because I have players that like to metagame and they'll try and open doors while you're talking and describing the room that they're in. So, you know, I've taken the ability of them to be able to open doors away. And there's some other nice things that they've added in here. You could actually, while you're holding the mouse down, move your character without him moving, he or she moving. And you can set it up so that they can look, but that's a little too metagamey for me because it opens up the map ahead. Like if this door was open and they were coming from in here, they could go out and look and see everything that's out there. That's players, man. You're going to have that. You know what I mean? The guy that got banned last week, he's the one that was biggest on trying to rush around. That's why, like it says game pause down there. You hit that space bar, they can move. And what I'll usually do, I'll stop. I'll say, everybody stop here. I'll use my ping that I have set up. I say, stop here. If anybody keeps moving past, I hit this and I move them back. And it's like you're hurting children, you know, trying to get in that cookie jar. No, I need to get the cookie jar. They drive me nuts. Players do drive me nuts at times. I got to take him off in case he does come in. But the fact that walls, everything comes in perfectly is awesome. I'm just going to say QC hacked. That's a long name. Thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. All right, so where were we? Did we get the rooms down here? Yeah, we keep digressing to show all the fancy things you can do with this. So this is area 17. We'll put our thing here. And then we're going to have to come back and drop all of the description boxes in here. But this will make it easier moving forward. And I like to have these in because, like 16, it doesn't allow you to differentiate and drop a box for each room like A, B, C, and D. You'll only be able to drop 16 in, so you need to have some type of notation here to let you know which one is A, B, C, D. And normally we're done really quick with this part, but And I don't mind. You know, we've been so busy showing off Foundry and how nicely this stuff works together. That there. Oh, shoot. I screwed up. This is all 16D. That's fine. I mean, at this pace, if any of the players were watching, they would just see us putting notations in. No idea what's going on. All right, so there's 15, 16, 17, then we go to 18, which starts up here in this, like, barracks. So now we need... I'll place them in here. 18A. Let's try that again. 18B. And then C and D here. And the other reason, I mean, I could technically leave these notations where the players would be able to see them, but I'd rather them not. Then they get to see the room instead of like seeing 18B over the bed and that kind of stuff. And that's one of the reasons that I do the maps, is so that it actually, when I read a description of the room, they get a little better idea of what the room looks like, since we've taken the time to decorate and, you know, make it look like the description. Now I say that, but this map, for a long time, I had been doing... You know what? I will show you what I've been doing. And if you decide to do this, the only thing that you need to remember is what your players can see is limited by the size of your map and the graphics capability of their computer. Now, where that becomes relevant, this map here, I'm going to zoom out. This is a giant freaking map. All right? And this is the way Wizards made it. It is larger than, I believe the height is probably larger than 10,000 pixels. And where that becomes a problem, if you have Mac users playing and they have a graphics card that's built in that only allows 8,192 pixels on either horizontal or vertical, then what they're going to end up seeing is a black and white map with no detail, and the walls will work, but everything's going to be black and white. What I used to do, if you notice, like Twisted Caverns, I have broken between top and bottom. So I would do 2 maps or more per level. If you look at the Sargoth level, I broke that down into 4 sections. Let's load this up. Because that map was huge. But that map also had a lot of square zones, and zones that were friendly as to, like, if they were going this way. This was a delineation from here to the next zone down. So I was able to cut the map up into sections and make it work. But it also increases the amount of work that you have to do as a DM in order to make that map friendly to your players that don't have a good graphics card. And, I mean, let's be honest, if you have a pixel limitation, you don't have a good graphics card that's going to be able to work with a lot of things. So I've made the conscious choice to not make 4 maps anymore. And the players are going to have to live with black and white. I've got 2 players that, I mean, they're running on a fucking Mac and they can't see the maps. I think the one player has access to a PC that would take care of that, and I'm going to suggest that she use that when she's playing. And the other guy, he just needs to stop using a 10-year-old Mac. It dies every other week, so I mean, that's his clue that it's time to get a new computer. What do you mean, what voice software do I use for gameplay? You mean as far as being able to talk with each other? I usually use Discord. Now, I'm going to show you something. So you are able to go into here, and I'm not going to set it up, but you see this here, configure audio video. We were trying this before, and it worked for everybody that had a good machine. This will allow you to either set up voice broadcasting so that you're talking through this software, or you can set it up so that it goes through Jitsi and uses a Jitsi Meet server and pulls in the audio and video from that. And basically, if you see where my mouse is here, across this bottom, you would have the cameras, the audio and video of every player plus the DM in the group across there. So I haven't tried it probably in about 3 months using this, but if they've made some improvements to it, this is probably a really good option to use the audio and video conferencing. Otherwise, just use Discord. It's free. I mean, using this, what's built in is free too, unless you want to build your own Jitsi server and host that, and then pull in from that. There's a way to do that, which I set up. And then because a couple of my players are not technically savvy, getting them to set it up was almost impossible, so it wasn't even worth spending the $5 a month to have a Jitsi server set up. So I let that go away. But you can use this software for the audio and talk through that with your players. And it works well. The video, like I said, a few months ago, it wasn't great unless everybody had a good graphics card. If you've got a group of players that have good computers, then yeah, use this. Don't bring a third-party software in, and it's all going through this. Now, they also need a good internet connection because it's peer-to-peer. In other words, if you have 6 players, like this guy here is sending and receiving from him and each of the other 5 players, including the DM. So you need the bandwidth to cover the audio and video going out that way. And let's say it takes 3 megabits a second per connection, a total of 5 going in and out. You need at least 15 up and down, probably more, to have a successful audio video link with everybody there. So it is also, when you use the peer-to-peer that way, it's dependent on your connection. Now, if there's a module you can use, I don't have it active now. Do I still have it on here? Jitsi Web RTC Client. You can do that, and what it'll do is every time you play, it sets up a Jitsi server for you without you having to do anything on the free. And Jitsi is like Zoom and all those other things if you're not familiar with it. But it'll set up that conferencing server for you, and then everybody is going into the conferencing server with their video, and then audio and video, and then it all comes out in a single to everybody. So you only need one up and down connection going to that Jitsi server. So the Jitsi Meet client eliminates that if you put that into your Foundry game. I mean, it'll still mean you need to take like an extra 3 megabits per second up and down to run the audio video, but it's better than not using it where you run as a peer-to-peer network and are needing that 3, and I'm using that as an example. It can be anywhere from like 2 to 5 depending on the connection, your camera, and everything else that you need per connection. But if you're running without the Jitsi web client, DM and 5 players, you're talking 5 connections for everybody to do, and they all need decent internet. So again, it's really nice to have everybody, you able to see everybody on the bottom down here, but it's dependent on computers that everybody's running with, their capabilities with graphics cards and cameras, and their internet connection. So if that's not doable, then just use Discord and talk, and you don't need to see everybody. I know that was a lot more than you asked for, but those are your options. And I've used all of them. I mean, I've even used I've even used what is it? The Google meeting software. I've used that before. Um, it, it just depends what you want to use. I mean, I always give as much detail as possible. My players don't always give me the opportunity because I'll start and I'll say, you see this in the room, and I start seeing dice rolling. They're rolling initiative already, and they're getting ready to kill things. The one player was such a douche. I would just see attacks, He would target something in there and attack. That's another reason I went with a game pause, so they couldn't freaking target and attack. So I could finish describing, and then maybe, if that was an NPC that normally wouldn't be an ally, they'll be able to tell, maybe that's an ally we shouldn't kill because, they have information. Bad players are the bane of a DM's existence. And being a dad and a DM, I kind of treat players like I would treat my kids. They're not always right, and their actions are not always good. And that's the way I was with my kids. I was never the kind of parent that, if my kids, anytime my kids came running to me that something happened, and another kid came running saying something happened, and their stories were diametrically opposed, them saying my kid started it, my kid saying they started it. I assumed everybody was lying. And the other thing that I always did, I'm the kind of person, if I'm looking in your eye when you're saying something to me, I'm watching for autonomic responses. I'm watching for your pupils to dilate because that happens when you lie. You don't have a choice. I mean, my kids hated it because sit there. If they're lying, I'd be like, you're fucking lying. I'm watching for this to start thumping. And, that's the way I treat my kids, the way I treat players. I assume that they're going to do something dumb because that's what they do. And, you'll find I've got some good players. They role play well. They're fun to play with. The guy that I booted this past week, oh my God, he was awful. He was awful. He was like a bad kid. He would just execute everything he saw. He fucking put an arrow in a goblin child that was crying because they were bullied and wanted their toy back. And that was supposed to be a quest inside the dungeon for them to go and find this thing because it would lead them to this NPC that they needed to get to. And first thing he does, it's a goblin. Thump. I'm like, motherfucker. The party wanted to kill him for that, too. They wanted to kill him. I would have been fine with that. That would have been one of the first PvPs I was fine with if they just started killing him. I mean, I spent years around kids coaching, like hockey. Spent years teaching kids martial arts. You learn kids are probably the least honest beings on the planet, especially when their own self-interests are involved. I know my kids were always mad because I'm not a parent that automatically defends my kids. I say kids. My son's 23 now. My daughter just turned 18. And you know what? I'll always be like that. Doesn't matter if they like it or not. And 24C. Now comes the fun part. We're going to go through each one of these rooms and drop the descriptor for the area in the rooms. And I know it's redundant, but it makes it easier that I have this down. Now I don't even have to look at that map anymore and try to read the tiny ass writing. Plus, when we get to these zones, like we're at 24, right? Let's show you what 24 is going to look like. So this is Willowwood. I have to look at these, and for some reason, I wish I knew why. What has happened here? See, it won't let me slide those up. That's fine. So this is 24. It would be really nice if I could take each individual numbered and lettered description and drop it into the rooms, but I can't. So what I'll do, there's 24. That's the map note. And this will only be up. See, like right there, it's not up. I have to go down here and I can see this descriptor. So we'll put it somewhere. And I'm going to put one of those in each room. Just because. It's generally my reason for most of the things that I do when I'm doing this. Just because. And this is another thing that they'll never see. So when they get into this room, let's say they come in from here, 24C, I'll pull that up and it'll bring the room descriptors. And as they go through the rooms, I keep it off to the side and it's good to go. As you can tell, I'm really into redundancies. So 23A and B, we'll drop that down. And I'm going to drop the descriptions in each room. Let's put it up here out of the way. And if we end up having to put treasure or something in one of these zones, then we'll do that. All right, so let's go up to, we already dropped zone 1. Let's find our 2, and we're going to start moving through. You know what? We're just going to stick with how we've always done it. So we'll drop 2. This is a 2 zone. This is a 2 zone. And I drop them in these areas because normally you're going to be zoomed in on a zone so you can see what's going on with the players and everything. So it doesn't hurt to have all that down there. 3A. And I would just say, You know, if you're doing this, do it how you like to do it. If you like to be zoomed out and just have one descriptor on there, go for it. There's no right or wrong way. I say that, but I bet AT&T wishes they had redundancies in when they had that freaking server room fire and it took out Dallas, Fort Worth internet for like 2 days. All because they had a single switching cabinet instead of redundancy in place. It's room 4. What else do we have? Let me take a look at that. Holy crap, Anon. First Patreon. Thank you very much. Now, I am going to change some of the Patreon levels. I'm going to get rid of the map level, that's $7 one or whatever I have, because I'm just going to give the maps out for free. So, and I have to get around to doing that. I need to do that like ASAFP. But I do appreciate that greatly. All right, so I really don't need that there. Because when they get there, we go all the freaking way down here. And they're going to come in here. Now for each one of these, we'll drop a single descriptor. Let me take care of that. This is like crazy day. And I'm waiting on, let me see. We're going to, oh. I'm not even going to put the be right back screen on. Give me 2 seconds. Something's at the door and I don't want it stolen. We're back. So I have a couple more things coming. I've got the light right now bouncing off. That's why there's noise here. I've got an Elgato key light, which is kind of like looking at the sun. And I usually choose, Tiny gives me a hard time if he's in here. I usually choose to bounce my light. And you lose light doing that. So I've got a 4 monitor setup. I can't have a direct light, which I really don't want because, like I said, looking at the sun, bad thing. But I've got an arm coming to bring it out to have the light come down this way and we'll take care of the noise in the thing. And I may even put on this side over there a reflector just so that we fill in the shadows that are going to happen. Man, I'm I'm waiting for that to get here too. But I'll show you the dumb thing that I just got and you will laugh and we'll tell you why. So we just got the Pokemon Gotcha. my wife's been playing Pokemon since it came out. Now, I had gotten Pokemon Go. I had started playing it with her way back. I stopped. Now, with COVID, she always wants to go out, drive around, spin Pokestops, come on and do community day with me, all this kind of stuff, right? So, because I'm generally driving, and it's not safe to sit there looking at your phone and spin a Pokestop, I decided to get this so that I can drive with her, and this will actually catch and spin everything that I pass without me touching the phone. So I'll be able to safely play the silly game with her and not ever have to touch my phone. If it was not COVID and I didn't live where I live, where people are like, oh, masks are evil, they don't help, all this kind of stuff, even though they do. My response to that is always, well, show me where you got your PhD in immunology, virology, or MD, any of that stuff. Oh, you don't have one? Your opinion's meaningless. So just wear a mask. It's polite and it keeps it from spreading. I mean, that's science. Um, there's a place that we could go that in less than a kilometer, there are 18 Pokestops. And that would be, I mean, I'd walk around there 5 times with her. But there are just so many people out. And unfortunately, the actual data where, there was a study that I saw. They had Niantic take out all of the Pokestops. When did they do that? I remember, how long ago was that? I mean, I remember in one of my trips when we were still messing with that, going up there and the Pokestops were working well before COVID. What room did we stop on? 6. So we need to go to 7 next, right? I mean, when I'm out walking, I still wear a mask. It doesn't hurt anything. Do it as a date thing. I mean, hell, it's a cheap date. Go out and spin Pokestops, play Pokemon. There was a place over here. There's a Mexican restaurant, which, I mean, there are a lot of them here. But right outside, there was a pond, and it had these 4 Pokestops. 2 of them were a gym. It's just a small pond, so you would just walk around there. And by the time you got back to that first stop, um, it was still under 5 minutes, so you'd still have to wait. But people were always there because that's when everybody was trying to get Gyarados and stuff like that. So they were always looking for Dratini. Um, and you just sit there for an hour or so spinning, and everybody's talking, chatting. I mean, it was kind of social and fun. You know what I mean? And then just got out of it. And me saying that is kind of crazy since I'm not. Well, I can't even say that anymore. I mean, I drive my kids crazy because my kids are kind of like I was as a kid. Um, I think I'm only going to put one there and one down here because there's nothing in these rooms. We'll even open up and show you. That's what I love about this. So I know that A has werebats. Oh, there are actually werebats in here. We're going to have to pull those in. Damn. I mean, that's crazy. I wonder why they asked to take them out. I mean, if you have a ton of stops and it brings in business, and it's not bad business. I mean, seriously, cus- generally having customers come in, they're playing Pokemon, and then they're like, I'm getting hungry. Let's get some damned food. That's not a bad thing. It still amazes me that, I mean, it shouldn't amaze me, but I mean, considering how liberal Maryland's always been, I mean, since I was a kid, it amazes me that that's still such a fucking issue. But I mean, you're talking about White Marsh. And for the people that are in here, you're like, what are you talking about? I mean, it's an area I grew up in, and it amazes me. It's one of those things that shouldn't be an issue. Oh, I was going to go in and take care of this. Let me do this. Da, 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 da. Well, I mean, thing is, you just need to remember it doesn't matter where you go, it's going to be there. You can move to Germany or whatever, and it's going to be there. There is no haven from stupidity in this world. I mean, it is what it is. All right. This I can drop in here. And I don't worry about dropping these in because I won't even see it once I'm out in the screen. You have to click on this. The nice thing is you go here, they're not there. You're like, okay, let's see the description. You click there real quick, you pop the descriptor, go back there, and it goes away. So it's never in the way. I know a lot of people are really hep on Roll20 just because it's free, but it's really not free if you want to be able to. I mean, I used the paid version for a while. Then I ended up going to Fantasy Grounds, and now I live on Foundry when it comes to my role playing. All right, so nope, we didn't get everything yet. This is a dragon's platform. Hopefully they don't get involved with that and kill it, or try to, because they'll probably die. A lot of things in my campaign end with they'll probably die. I mean, the one guy that I ended up kicking last week, he acted a fool. Um, he's died 7 times in this. Now, look at this. This is where they are, Twisted Caverns, level 4. 4 levels in. He's died 7 times. There are 21 levels. So at 7 times per 4 levels, if we make it to level 20, that's 28 potential deaths. And a few more when they get to level 21. How can you play that bad? How? I don't understand. I may never understand that one. Oh my God. I mean, he would start fights with things that just a description should make you think. Maybe I shouldn't do this. That thought process never went through his head. He would just, or shoot it. Okay. Well, you guys are level 7. And this is an NPC. He started shit with at one point with an NPC that was, oh my God, I think it was like level 19. And it was just there to guide them, to help them. And he started shit. The rest of the party, they kind of got the hint that this was something that you don't attack. And minute he did that, they said, we say to the guy, if you want to kill him, go for it. We don't know who the fuck he is. He's just kind of with us. And I killed the shit out of him. But I mean, that's how bad of a player do you have to be that it gets to the point where your party starts disavowing you? I mean, seriously. The party was disavowing him, basically. It was like you're on a CIA mission, and they say, we don't know who that fucking guy is. He's not with us. Get disavowed by your own party. Oh my God. He was always like a severe cause of stress for me. Oh my God. Just thinking about it is enough to give me an aneurysm. I know this has to be charged. How the fuck do you charge this thing? No, because it's like a private group I played with for a while. I haven't even said to them, hey, you want to do this online? So no, this one we don't run online. Okay, maybe. No. I'm afraid I'm going to break this thing. Looks like you're supposed to be able to take the band off and then you plug it into a USB. So instead of doing what I would normally do and just manhandle it and then be like, oops, let's take a look and see if there are instructions that are better than what I see here. I mean, doesn't even say which side has the USB connector on it. Maybe that's it where the arrow is. I'm so scared to pull it off. Ah. Let's look this up. But ding dong, the witch is dead. It's not even an issue now. We're going to turn the volume off and see what this guy has to say. It'd be funny if on the YouTube video they broke it. Yeah, I did what the hell was the campaign I ran? And I streamed it on Twitch and then I uploaded to YouTube after. Horde of the Dragon Queen. We had quite a few deaths in that too. And the thing is, I generally don't pull punches in game. I know DMs that they've probably never killed a player, and I don't think that should be a thing. Players should always be scared to go into combat. Man, he's really having to wrench that thing off. Really? That's scary. All right, so this is the side. There's an arrow, right? There it is. Wow. Seriously. That doesn't even look at that. It doesn't even look like a USB connector, but that goes into a USB connection. That's crazy. Let's see. Don't have anything I can unplug right there. That's fine. Craziness. All right, so 6. Have we gotten everything done as far as dropping the descriptors in? Now we're going to show you there's a lot of these are not going to have the monsters for the area. So let's take a look at 2A first. Let's see. Trees growing alongside the river, some of the biggest, blah, blah, blah. Bears come to the river's edge to fish, and deer and elk come to drink. We're not going to put them in. I don't want anybody starting shit and killing bears and elk just for the fun of it. All right, 2B. Now, see the spider webs? That should tell you what you're going to find. But here we go. 5 ettercaps and 10 giant spiders live in the trees and attack interlopers. Consider these creatures to be Willowwood's natural ecosystem. It keeps them from spreading beyond the marble walkways to the west and south. So she will probably frown upon killing them. She is a druid. So let's put some ettercaps. Let's see if we have them first. So we go in here. We'll look at our D&D Beyond import, our monsters. It's a monstrosity. I just need to verify. Do we have them in here? So we don't see Eder caps, right? So what we're going to do, we'll go to Compendium, D&D Beyond Monsters. We need to use this thing called the Muncher. And see, we don't have any Eder caps in this. So we'll click Muncher. And go to Monsters, Eder cap. Ettercap. Munch Monster. We don't need the variant, but there's the Eder cap. I know we have giant spiders, so we don't need to munch those in. So this is... First I want to... let's take a look at something. So there's 1, 2... How many are there? 5 Eder caps. We'll drop them randomly. Now I'm curious what it'll bring in for the giant spiders. Let's do this. We're going to munch giant spiders. I have them already downloaded, but I really am curious to see what comes in here. It can, but I knew I didn't have those downloaded. It's, oh my God, look at this shit. It's bringing in every giant in the book. I should have just done spider. Look at this. Well, if we need anything with giant on it, it'll be here. God, stop munching. That was funny. All right, so now we could search. We could go giant spider. And there they are. So we'll drop 1. How are we going to fit 10 of these bitches in here? Seriously? 10. Seriously. Talk about overpopulation. That's crazy. All right, 2C, they hear moaning, see the thing. 2D. I know D was in a weird spot. Where is it? Is this right? Yeah, that's still 2A. This is 2D. Will-O-Wisp. So here's the grave. So we put the grave there. So the Will-O-Wisp will lure them. So we're gonna put him in here. Let's see if we have it. Nope. Now we can check over here and see if we had brought it in under Undead before, but I don't think we've had Will-O-Wisps. So the fact that we're using the muncher, we're going to keep munching. And you know what? We're going to hide description from players. Use dynamic effect. Compendium. I have that. Let's do that. Exact name match. We're not doing the undying or god tier. So let's do this. Let's just do Wisp. And maybe it'll only munch the Will-O-Wisp. And it brought a Metal Wasp in, because that is just like Wisp. All right, so we're going to put it like right around here. These are not cut down trees. What I'll do for an area like this, I put the tree stumps so that it doesn't cover the ground. And then down here you have all the bushes and the undergrowth. And that's a design choice I made a while ago. You know, I just feel like it's better to be able to see the ground they're walking on and just explain to them, because this is basically a treed canopy above. So I think what we're going to do to draw them in is this. Let's think what I'll probably do is put up something when I am getting ready to start a new campaign. Now, like I said, it'll probably be a weekday, and it'll always be my normal stream time. I'll establish maybe 10 to 2, a 4-hour game on that day, and I may do it. I'll decide if it'll be every week or every other week. I still have to decide which campaign I want to run. I'll probably go with a pre-printed campaign. I may go back to one of the older ones. I was thinking about... What's the one I was thinking about running? I think it was, oh, that's a new one. We'll take a look at that one too. What the hell is the one I started prepping for? We'll come back to this in a second. It'll save. Yeah, Descent into Avernus. That's what I was thinking about running. I think that's going to be brutal. You're basically descending into the equivalent of D&D Hell. And it's going to be very difficult for players to discern what they need to do because they're going to be demons and stuff that you need to align with and not necessarily kill. So that's going to be a messed up campaign. I thought about doing that, and in fact, I'd started mapping out Avernus. But what I normally do is when I finally decide I'm going to do something, um, I'll say I'll probably post in my Discord. That's that's going to be, oh shit. That's going to be most likely where I'll post it. Um, Make sure that the username and your email address and stuff for Patreon are the same as Discord. Um, Oops, dog pill. See, I can't say that. I have so many emails set up for so many different things. But yeah, that's where I'll post. Some of the you'll notice there's a delineation up there for Tuesday AM players. That was a group that I ran before, and the guy Vox, his work changed. His wife played. She was graduating college and getting a job. So now they were older too, but she was getting a job as a teacher, and so it worked out perfectly. We had a total party kill on the last day that we were going to play that actually was right at the last thing they would do in the campaign. So it was hilarious and glorious all at the same time. It was awesome. I tell you what, I haven't had a lot of TPKs in all the years that I've run, but almost every one that I've had has been funny as hell. And that's terrible to say, but every TPK has been funny as hell. All right, so we want this to be invisible, but let's see if we can make it radiate light, because that's what's going to draw the players in. So I'm going to say we need 10 and 10. I'm going to remove this because it's not a player character. It'll still see out to 120 feet even if I don't do that. So let's update the token, do that. Let's oh, vision. Bastard. Let's drop a player character in here. Oh, I need that live for them to be able to see it. I'm going to have to log in as a player and make sure that they can't see that stuff. Display name never displayed. Representative actor. Hostile. Display bars for owner. All right, so I'm the only one that can see it. Yeah, we're good. All right, so I'll just see what looks like a little bit of a candle there. Be like, oh, what's that light? And it'll dance on back and then kill him. There we go. Delete him. What just happened? Oh, I brought up the console. That's what happened. All right, so I think that's all of 2, right? Any other things here? So find a wand of fireballs. Nothing else. So let's find area 3. Yeah, 2A, that's still the bears and elk prancing down and having a fun time at the waterway. All right, Rusty Lantern, continual flame spell. That's why we have that lit. Guardhouse. Characters must be 6 level or higher to pass through that, so they'll be fine if they actually find this. Dead Halfling is in the corner. We already have that. I don't see anyone in there. So that's another room that doesn't have to be populated. I'm always good with that. 4A is this wall over here, I believe. Right there. So let's see. A, B, C, D, and E. This right here. All right, so we need cloakers. I don't know if I have cloakers, but we'll find out. Oh, shit. That's not good. That's not good at all. See what happened there? We brought those 5 in, and it threw this into loot. I need to see if... All right, so there's something weird going on there. We're going to delete these, and hopefully it won't delete them off of my... That's not good. don't want to do it that way. We don't want these to show up like that either. All right, let me pull something else up real quick. Take a second for this to load. And if we're going to do it this, I'll show you what I'm doing here. This is the other way to bring in your monsters and stuff. They'll actually go into these folders and they won't replicate like they just did when I dropped them on the map. I may be doing something wrong. Like I said, that's a different way to bring them in than what I normally do, and I'm going to have to take a look, do a little research. We'll leave those populated there for now. Right now we're waiting for this to load. And then we'll start picking up from there. So there's nothing in 3 that we need to worry about. It's 4 that we need to populate. So we need cloakers. And what this will do, this will pull it up inside of D&D Beyond. First thing I need to do is do this. It'll connect to my Foundry game. Let's refresh. It should be connected now. And then we'll import the cloaker. Right now it's thinking. So we're going to do this off to the side as we find monsters that may not be in there. So cloakers are aberrations. There she is. And this is what I normally do too, so that they look a little nicer. And again, this is really just a matter of preference whether you do this or not. So that'll be your token to start off with. You can do it and let it create a token there. Then you just say OK. That created the token. Instead of coming out as a square, it should, and it didn't do it. Did I not save? There it is. So it's just a matter of personal choice. If you really like the tokens to be like your player tokens are going to be, then do that. You know, otherwise, just drop in whatever it gives you. 2 cloakers lurk here, 1 in each cave. So there's 1. 2.
Who let the dogs out?
Oh! That's Thor's butt. There's Thor. Let's see if this will hold. Thor next to the guts of a toy that they've destroyed. Alright, the Crystal Cavern does not have anything. Moaning Fisher. So there's another cloaker in there, hiding in the crack. So where is the Moaning Fisher? We're going to put him in there. It doesn't really say where it is. We'll put it kind of like that. Make him invisible. Because he's in a crack hiding. So it's like, I am not happy with being stared at. He doesn't like his job. His job is to be cute. Alright, we need to find room 5. That's 6. It's got to be up here, right? It's one of those things where it drives me nuts. I know it's rough being you. Oh, well, this is 5. This giant area right here. Did I not put a marker in 5? And this is 5. So that's why I didn't see it. And we didn't drop the descriptor in there either, did we? Yeah, we did. Let's see. Litter, totems. There are 4 awakened trees. I think we might have those. I think we've had those before. I've got to take a look. So, the thing is, if the party comes in, right, and they start doing some really stupid shit. So characters who engage in wanton destruction are accosted by several creatures, each of which has been the recipient of an awaken spell. So if they come in, they start chopping trees, doing stupid things. Oh, they're gonna get they're just gonna get burned, and it would just be really dumb for them to do that. So let's see. I don't, in fact, we may not have one. I don't remember running into an awakened tree before. There it is. Bam, done. All right, so, oh, you know what? The one level above that we did has them in it. And we even created a nice thing for them. Come on, why aren't you opening up? So it's a huge 3x3, and that's reflected there. So they're kind of hanging out, looking like trees. And you know what? Let's just put them on the trees. Invisible, because it looks like a tree. And where's one more? How about that? Thor's whining. I think somebody's eating lunch. All right, so we're going to go in here. I want to see how many things come up as awakened. Let's just see. Awakened shrub, zerkwood, tree, white moose. Is that really all of them? So this will be troublesome for the players. They're going to come in and see critters walking around happily. The guy who probably would have been like, I shoot it, can I skin it? And I'm going to eat it. That's not going to be a thing. He always wanted to shoot and skin everything, including sentient beings. That's a class of really bad player, all by itself. All right. They're not giant elks. Let's see. I think we're going to have to pull all of those in. So let's do it. Man, that's really weird. What's going on there? It's like all my notations. This is look at that. Everything is moved from where I have it. So there's got to be something weird with the setup on this. More exotic stuff, not everything. Yeah, this guy, it could be a sentient being. He wanted to skin lizard men, goblins, kobolds, you name it. He wanted to skin everything and eat it. And I'm like, you can't fucking do that. They're sentient. You're committing an evil act. I don't let people play evil. And it's just the epitome of a bad player. What is going on? Everything is shifted on here. That's why I'm like, wait a minute. That's not right. All right, we'll do this the old-fashioned way. We're just going to pull the zone up here and not even worry about it. So we need... I think I have a brown bear. So how many awakened brown bears? There's one. We need 2 awakened elks. So I need to pull that in. This is the other thing. It's a little bit annoying. So I bet this actually brings in a better image than the generic shadow image. Let's see. Does it actually? No, it didn't bring an actual elk in. But I do need to see why it's recreating that multiple times. So we'll fix these things later. Probably off stream. Let's see. Elk, large. Let's fix the token. You need to do this before you drag them on. It'll start off immediately as a 1x1. It could be something that should be a 4x4, and it's going to not be correct. So we have an elk and an elk. Giant wasps. So we're slowly importing these. And again, it's the same shadow creature image. It's kind of funny. There's the giant wasp. Let's zoom out. Oh, we don't want to do that. Let's make sure we didn't drop a giant wasp that's not giant over there. Token. Again, that's a 2x2, right? It is a large. Oh, it's a medium, 1x1. Oops. That's my bad. How many of those? 3 giant wasps. Let's assume they're hanging out together. All right, so we have all the awakened inner forest guys down. Now, one of the players is a druid. They shouldn't come in and start shit. That is my distinct hope. I may be delusional. It would not be the first time I suffered delusion as a DM. All right, 6 is down here. All right, so we need to bring Willow in. Alright, where is she? She has a Displacer Beast Companion, an Awakened Tree Usher. Come on. I hate when they do this. A named character with a generic token. That's like the worst. I mean, they really need to not do that. You know what I mean? And then I have to go out because it bothers me and look for a cool looking token for the named character. And here's the thing. I'm going to show you. How hard would it be There she is. How hard would it be for them to just fucking make a token? Not hard at all. Just make a token. I am positive I'm not asking too much. All right, so I know she's sitting on her spot. I'm just going to throw her into one of those. We need a Displacer Beast. I don't think we've had one of those in this campaign yet, so we'll have to pull that in. There is a token for a Displacer Beast. It's importing slowly. To unlock. And we'll do that. Save. Say OK. And hopefully it saved our changes. There we go. There's Displacer Beast. And then another Awakened Tree. Nah, that's her pet. I'll stay there. There we go. Displacer Beast, her, the Awakened Tree. That's all that's in that area. 6B. Suit of Hide Armor of Resistance. Now, let's be honest. They should not be getting any of this treasure. They should leave this place peacefully. They really should. And this does kind of stress me. All right, now where items, I need to put a chest. This is all right. So be prepared to laugh. I mean, you have people that started off, and I have to say, started off. Chaotic good, neutral good, lawful neutral. I have a party of players who cannot make a saving throw. Ever. Ever. So, at this point, here's the scary thing. Let's bring up a character. Here's our Drow Druid. She's now lawful evil. Has no choice. Want to know why? Did it not save to her character? Taken over by an intellect devourer. It's 1. Also, fail to save on a were rat. Intellect devourer were rat. Hasn't turned yet. This character became neutral evil. Werewolf. Intellect devourer. Couldn't make a saving throw. I'm just rolling with it as a DM at this point. There's nothing I can do when no one can make a saving throw. Intellect devourer. No werewolf or anything yet. Still chaotic neutral. Hasn't been taken over by something. He's actually lawful evil now. We need to change that. Intellect devourer. Let's see. New player hasn't been taken over by something yet. So we have Intellect Devourer Werewolf, Intellect Devourer dead, but soon to be a were rat. Intellect Devourer were rat. Intellect Devourer. This guy, he's been waiting. It was hilarious because he was waiting for such a long time. He figured out that they were intellect devourers. He goes, basically, I know. And then he goes in, steps into this room, and there were 3 intellect devourers in the garbage, and he failed the saving throw. They killed the other 2 because there were still players that, they have to act like they're not like that. And these guys have never made their checks to figure out what's going on. They cannot make checks when it's necessary. And when it first started happening, and, she became the werewolf at first, I was like, it'll be fine. This is an NPC that I had joined the party because their wizard's never there. And in the story, she's basically, find her in a prison on a level that's heavy with drow. Well, they have a drow in the party, so she's got like a drow fetish. I mean, that's how she's described. So she's like, I'll join you guys. You have a drow. So she basically is this person's shadow. This is a scary party at this point. They still kind of, Like this guy, he has his whole backstory. No, actually, they won't, because she's still. I'm a, with the intellect devour, I'm taking the tack that it's picked up their background because it has that knowledge, right? So she's still acting like a druid. She's just a little more morally ambiguous, being lawful evil. She would probably, if somebody did start burning the forest down, murder everyone without a second thought now. Um, the halfling, he made this big background about being an orphan, all of his treasure he's saving to give to the orphanage, and he was doing good so that he could save his fellow orphans. Now he's doing whatever it takes to save his fellow orphans. He's still got that, that's kind of his lawful thing that he has going. So I'm letting them meld their original background and tinge it with the evil that would happen. You know what I mean? So I didn't, because the players are so bad with their roles, and it's not even like, and here's the thing, when we played in person before COVID hit and they would roll dice at the table, they were still bad at rolls and couldn't make a save. So it didn't make a difference that it went from real dice to virtual dice. They've never been able to make a roll. So at least when it counts to save to save yourself from something horrible. They can kill things, but they can't make saving throws. So I'm taking how the intellect of our works and letting that work into their background, and they're just basically changing how they use that background. And they'll still eventually do what they need to do. You know what I mean? If they run into one of their overlords, then they'll do what they're told to do, but they're very confused. It's a DM decision I had to make with so many of them failing horribly, because like the halfling, he was so fucking worried. He's like, "What about my background and all this? And I'm trying to save all my orphan friends and this kind of stuff." I'm like, "You can still do that. You're just going to change how you do it." He's like, "Okay, I can live with that." So, and the werewolf, I said, "You have a choice. You can fight it or you can embrace it." And she's like, "Nah, I'll embrace it. What the hell?" She's actually loving it. She's a player who's always had horrible dice luck. And now, since she's first turned, and she's the only one of the, were creatures who has finally turned. Now she, normal damage, she doesn't even take it. She sloughs it off. And she was dying a lot. So she's just like, "I'm immortal." And she's taken it to, and if you look at her stats, I mean, her intelligence actually came up. Her actual intelligence, I think, was like 8 or 10. So she wasn't that bright. Having an intellective hour made her a little more intelligent, and she's still playing stupid. She's like, "I'm double immortal now." So she's role playing it very well. They all are. If it would have gone to the group idiot, it would have been bad because he was already playing evil as a chaotic good character. Like, you can't do that. "Well, I'm chaotic. That means I'm crazy." It's like, no, it doesn't. I've explained to him so many times, chaotic doesn't mean crazy. It doesn't mean you're Harley Quinn. It means you act on emotion. And it doesn't mean that emotion might be burn an orphanage down one day versus save them. A chaotic good character may be a little more ambiguous about how they do good things. They may steal to feed the orphanage where a lawful character wouldn't. I've had this conversation with him and he is just so fucking stupid. I'm so happy. And the table was actually relieved when he got kicked because they're like, oh my God, we have a chance to make it through things without murdering small children and doing stupid things. And that should never even be a question or an option. You know what I mean? I'm looking at this map and there's something wrong with it. Oh, watch. There's nothing wrong with it. Wait till we go to the walls. There should be a secret door here. So there is something wrong with the map because it didn't bring that in. So let's do that. Oh my God. I mean, it is so tiring sometimes to have to keep explaining these things to players. You know what I mean? Especially a bad player. So for some reason that, and this is the nice thing with this. All right, so there's another secret door here. Why didn't this? Oh, the wall should have carried over though. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't even care if it's straight. I kind of care, so let's move it. We'll make it crooked this way. So those are two secret doors. They would have to kill her, the displacer, and the tree to even venture farther into this. But we're going to start populating the treasure. Well, I mean, it's like when people are like, oh, I'm just going to be true neutral so I can do anything. And it's like, dude, being true neutral is basically just being a guy. You know, maybe you'll steal a Post-it from work, but you're not going to rob a bank. You know, it doesn't give you freedom to do anything. You know, you're just a guy. And they, I don't know. Drives me crazy. So what were we looking for in this room? I know there's treasure in here. Yeah, but I mean, even chaotic neutral, you're never going to do anything heinous. You know what I mean? You're just not. You'll venture, you'll walk that line where, yeah, you can do some naughty stuff, but you don't do some evil stuff. Yeah, exactly. You bend the rules. That's the naughty stuff. But you're not going to resort to cannibalism because you think it's funny. And I just run into so many bad players that are like, oh, I can do whatever I want because I'm neutral. No, you fucking can't. And I will flip an alignment on somebody that does something crazy. You know, you go down that dark path, your character gets punished for it. And I've always been, let's see if the SRD brought this in. I'm hoping it did. Hide armor of resistance. There it is. This makes me happy. I just have to fill in the damage. Lightning. You know, it's like rogues that decide, well, I'm a rogue, so I steal from everybody, including the party. It's like, man, don't do that. The party will murder you. And they should. D, E, Arcane Lock Spell. Anything? No. F, Staff of Flowers. The Staff of Flowers is the dumbest staff ever made. Let's see if it's available in the SRD. It's not in there, so we'll have to bring it in. Apparently, she's a failed magic item maker. This is the only magic item she's made that works. And we'll give you a description of the Staff of Flowers because it's funny. Wooden staff has 10 charges. While holding it, you can use an action to expend 1 charge from the staff and cause a flower to sprout from a patch of earth or soil within 5 feet of you. That's its only power. That would be totally worth starting a war in this zone, wouldn't it? To get the staff flowers. Where is it? But we're going to import it. Come on, let me import it. I thought that it brought that in over here. You know what? I'm going to go on the assumption that they can't get up there. Watch them get up there. Anything else? Statuary, Archgate, Ossuary, 6K, 4 giant toads. Let's put them in there. We should have giant toads. But we know it's over there, so I'm going to have to import that. No, wait a minute. I think there were giant toads. The hags have that? No, they were giant crabs. Damn it. All right, let's import that. And again, we're with the generic items. They're large, so let's fix, once again, we'll fix this before we pull it in. That's it for the tower. So that's area 6. Area 7. It's right below the tower up here. Well, we need to... Let's take a look at this real quick. Because this right here is supposed to be the entry. Right there. That's another thing I like with this. It's really easy to make changes to the map you bring in. Foundry's a really nice program for that stuff. All right, alcoves of the dead. They're just dead people there. So these people that Willow killed who came in and started shit in her forest. So what's the lesson? Don't mess with her forest. Oh, this goes down to the next level, which is what I need to finish building. That's the Umberhawk Tunnel. Then we go to 9. I think that's, yeah, that's the dragon. All right, so there's a young green dragon up there. I don't think I have that, so we need to import. Thor, is life being difficult? I think life's being difficult. When we get off, we're going to do a little research and see if there's a way to use that other one, which honestly is quicker to bring in our monsters without, you know, when you drag them over here, creating multiple copies of it. Is this our first dragon in here? Yes, it is. Token. It's 2x2 because it's large. Let's update it. And we'll make it fancy. Save, okay. Drop him here. Make it so he can't be seen until they get up there, because he's basically laying around sleeping. Anything else we need to know up here? All right, so we need treasure inside that room, just in case they do go up there. I keep adding just in case. So, and I use this because this allows me to distribute treasure easily. See, it lets me give permission to each one of them, and then you click the split, and it sends the treasure, and then I can drag and drop from here and put it on character sheets. So we need 3,500 gold. 6,000 silver. They always have a shit ton of copper, don't they? Jay Raven! It's going awesome. How are you doing today? Alright, now we need minor magical property. It glows faintly when undead or within 120 feet of it. I guarantee we don't have that, but let's take a look. We'll probably have to create that. Black Pearl. So this is what we'll do. Drag that in, and then we'll do some modifications. Really? Was it planned last session? Come on. There we go. So let's add the minor magical property. I wonder if they've added the copy paste. Let's see. I don't think they have, but let's see. Before I couldn't do that inside of here. 2.5 years. Right now, I mean, I'm prepping for tonight. This is Mad Mage. My party is on level 4, and we're like 18 months in because they are, man, they drag. But it's fine. You know what? It is what it is. As long as they're having fun, that's all that matters. All right, so that worked. Now we need to potion of gaseous form. I said they wouldn't have the black pearl, but I mean, they had a regular black pearl, so let's see. Holy schmoly. I mean, that's one thing with 5e, especially, I mean, if you're playing pre-written content, the idea of getting magical items is almost non-existent. So I think we're going to do it this way. Let me double check the level of this spell. Sixth level. So we're going to do it this way. It's a 6th level spell scroll, right? And we'll edit it. Hero's Feast, right? I think that might be the end of the magic in here. Let's see. All right, awesome. Oh, Christ. That's not everything. Oh! Oh. So, I forgot about this room. This is kind of funny. I mean, it's not really a room. So, this dragon, extra 2d6 sneak attack, has a neutral good sort of sharpness embedded to its hilt and pommel in him. And I think it actually makes this thing not evil. Yeah, it makes him not evil because Willow's going to kill you if you try to attack this dragon. Oh my God. That's awesome. I think no matter what, we're going to have characters die on this level. I feel it. I feel it coming. Ah, it's a bad idea. All right, nothing on the bridge. Let's go to 11. This is fun right here. So the boat is a mimic. Let's see. I don't think we've had mimics in here yet either. And while I'm thinking about it, let's do this the easy way and see if we have mimics in here. Yeah, this is man, this has been the most long drawn out campaign I think I've ever run. And it's all, I mean, players are having fun, it's all cool. But man, they really drag. They want to hit every single room in every single level. And you're in a 20 some level dungeon crawl. I can drag some shit out. Now, before we do that, let's it's a medium, so that's fine. Drop that there. Make it invisible because it's the boat. And I think we're done with that. Is there anything there? There's a skeleton over here. Yeah, we put the skeleton on the map. All right. So that's done. Goblin werebats. It says see Appendix A, so I'm wondering if they created a separate monster for this that I'll be able to import. It would be nice if I could. Oh, let's see. Small humanoid goblin shape changer. Well, that'll work. Let me click there. And let's import the werebats. Oh my god. I think I'm just going to minimize this one thing. I keep clicking the wrong one. I click on, this has to be done through Chrome to make it work. So this is a nice thing with Foundry. You're just in, I'll show you. So there's our werebat, right? You know what werebats mean? If they go down here, it's more people that can fail saves. So we'll import. It'll come right in and we'll see that in a moment. There they are. So let's fix their tokens. Actually, we're going to leave them at 1 by 1, even though they're small. So they're easier to see, but we're going to make them not be square and ugly. We're going to do it that way. So save. Okay. I shouldn't have closed that out. So we've got 3 of those here hanging from the ceiling. There's 1, 2, 3. Now, if I haven't shown, I know there's some people in here. Anon is one of them. Talking about like setting up combat, right? This is all you do. If your player characters were in here, you would come in, you would select everybody in the room, do this, and your combat's created. Then from there, go ahead and roll the NPC initiatives. And you're ready to rock and roll. And then from there, you just begin combat. So it doesn't get a lot easier. But I always pre-populate everything, so I don't have to worry about later on doing that. We're not going to hide them. 12B, 3 goblin were-rats in humanoid form. I think we're still going to drop them down this way, even though they're in humanoid form. They're in the middle of the room there. And what I'll probably do is drop 3 goblins there. Have these guys invisible, and if they change, they change. More goblins in... Nope. These guys are in bat form. 1, 2, 3. And that's done. That takes care of area 12. Area 13, nothing. That's where they keep their dinner. Area 14. Werebat boss. So we just need to drop a normal werebat in and amend his statistics. So this one needs 42 hit points, not 412. That would be funny though. Disadvantage on attack rolls against a target more than 30 feet away. Does he use... We'll worry about that if it happens. So he leaves Willow alone. If they kill him, let's set up our treasure. And I always use the chest just because it makes it easy to distribute. So 60 gold pieces. Three wooden holy symbols. I think what I need to do for that is just drag a holy symbol in, make 3 of them, and add a description. So a holy symbol, we'll edit that. Three. It is just copy and paste. Potion of greater healing. Tell you what, let's do this the smart way. Let's make this a little smaller. Put that there. Really? Oh, I bet it's potion of healing. Parentheses greater. Oh my god. Some of these are just dumb. A pair of dainty slippers. You know the funny thing is when you do stuff like this where it's just dumb loot, somebody's always going to be like, "I want that." No, I want that. What's it worth? Nothing. And the worst one was that guy that was always like the murder hobo in the group. Chalice hewn from blue quartz. Value 250. Iron master key that fits all the doors, area 18. We're just going to do key shaped like a stern dwarf's visage, and they'll have to figure out what it opens. Let's get rid of is. And there we go. And they'll just have to remember where they got it and then figure out what it does. All right, so that's the loot. Make it invisible. I'll go up and search the box, and then we'll pop it. $15 was up here. I really thought we'd get done this today, but scores of bats. They're not going to fight those, even if they want to, because they're harmless. Oh my god. 16. So 3 werebats hang there. 12 here. And that's a lot of hairy freaking werebats, and that's a lot of potential failed saving throws. I keep saying that, but it's a lot of potential saving throws that they're going to fail. I guess the ones who are already werewolves won't have to worry about becoming were-rats. Right? Oh my god, my brain. They're humanoids. All right, 16A is 3. 1, 2, 3. 16B is 12 of these little bastards. These are all subject to a nice fireball. It's 12. Werebat Nursery. So there are 2 grown werebats. And some youngins. This thing is really pissed off that I just did that, isn't it? Because I dropped it back on there. Are you done? It was acting out. At the end, each end of the cave is a wooden chest. This is 16D. So packed with treasure, its lid can't be closed. There's guards. So let's see what the treasure is. East end of the cave, beaten copper tankard, a crowbar, a set of manacles, a bar of soap, like they're going to use that, 5 wooden holy symbols, a shoddy cloak made from brown bear pelt, and 10 bleached human skulls. Chest to the south, rusty steel gauntlets with fingers ending in claws, a boar's tusk set with semi-precious stones, a priest pack without the rations, and a random trinket. That's some serious treasure. You know what? We're going to put a chest down, and I'm not even going to fucking fill it. Anybody that wants to fight over that horrible lot of treasure. Sorry, that is hilarious. Lonely goblin werebat named Vool. Oh, this is the other boot of elven kind. Somebody's carrying around the other one. They found it on the level they're on, and then they had to come down here to find the other boot of elven kind. It's kind of funny. I'm, you know, and the thing is, they'll probably never come in here and find the other boot. And I'm not going to help them find it. So this will be the right boot of elven kind. So right now they've only got the left boot. So what I'll do is if they come in here, I will set it so they actually get a pair. Boots of elven kind. We'll make a notation. All right, so that's the right boot. Anything else actually worthy? His accumulated wealth. 9 copper and 4 silver. Nope, no such thing. So we'll have to make it. So I guess if somebody wants to pretend they're a harper, they could run around with that. I doubt anybody would believe it, though, that met this group. All right. So that takes care of that treasure. That's hidden in the pile. So we shall hide it. Oh, we're getting pretty close to finishing this level off. So I don't think there's a lot of stuff left in here. "18A, nothing in there. 18B, nothing in there. 18C, we'll throw an invisible treasure chest for the search. I need to just leave that up. And we're going to put it over here and let it be behind that for the moment. Humanoid. So this, yeah, we could do it as a pouch. We'll shake it up. So, spell scrolls, speak with animals. We're just going to do that. Speak with animals. Done. Invisible because I have to find it. 18D, nothing in there. $19, ransacked, nothing, nothing, and nothing. I like that. $20. Chimera. I don't think we have that. So room 20. We're going to click on it. If we have it, it'll show it is already imported. Oh, we have it. Monstrosity. When did they run into a chimera? It's a large. Of course, it's wrong. Save, okay, done. You'll pop up here. If they do something to trigger it. That's only if they spill fresh blood. Empty, empty, empty. $22. Let's see. Statue of a dwarf petrified by a basilisk. Kitchen equipment. Chandeliers. Nothing. Two hostile boars have crept into this room in search of food. How horrifying. $23. We're clicking at just to have it ready, but we'll look at beasts and see if we have boars. Nope. We'll see it pop up in a second. They're mediums. I don't need to make any changes. So that's what, 23A have the boars. Nothing in 23B. 24. $24A, nada. $24B. $24C. Nothing. Is that it? Yes. Totally populated. Nice, easy level. So like I said, we're going to have to do a little research and see why this is doing that. I have to be doing something wrong because bringing a beast in should bring a single copy. Dropping it on the board should not do this. But alrighty, I'm gonna go. I'm running late giving her a pill. Give Icy her pill. I'm gonna eat some lunch and get ready for this evening. I was hoping to. In fact, I'm gonna shut the server down. I don't need anybody logging in from the group yet. I was hoping to, oh shit. 2.56, there we go. Hoping to get in and work on this map a little more today. I think we might do some mapping tomorrow. So I really need to populate this entire map. This is a map that they're gonna hit every freaking part of. So I'm thinking we'll work on this tomorrow. We might spend the rest of the week finishing up this map so it's ready for next week, and then we'll get back to gaming, doing some other stuff. But I think that's going to be it for the day. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Anon, thank you, donation, and first Patreon supporter. Awesomely awesome. So we're going to go ahead and end now. I'm going to probably prep for Pokemoning with the wife. I've got to get this thing charged up and figure out how to use it. So I can sit here while I'm doing nothing and catch Pokemon and without trying. That'll be awesome. But that'll be it for the day. Everybody have an awesome evening, and we'll catch you next time.